Hey everyone, my name is Kevin and from the Bourbon Broncos OWBN show. Hope you can hear me today. I guess my mic was on on silent. Let's see, make sure that's all good to go. Yeah, hello, good morning, guys. Anyway, Broncos are ready to take on the Bears. We got some injuries there with Frank Clark, which is what I was talking about. If you guys weren't able to hear, yep, can you hear me now? Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Anthony, for sticking around. Not sure why user error. We'll just play it like that. So with that being said, welcome to the Tailgate Talk. We're going to start this whole thing all over again. My name's Kev Dan, and guys, the Broncos are ready to take on the Chicago Bears, the monsters of the Midway, who are also 0-3. We are missing big name today, Justin Simmons, Frank Clark, all names that, and Mike Purcell. We're also missing Skinner, offensive lineman Alex Forsythe is going to be inactive for today. But the big ones, again, between Purcell, Frank Clark, Josie Jewell, and Justin Simmons, all those guys missing, and our defense is going to be hurting today, even, like it was last week. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do. Defensive coordinator Vance Joseph last week taking a lot of the blame for, everything that was going on and saying that, he needs to turn things around, right? Well, part of it, yeah, the scheme and everything we saw with the play calling has been but really it gets down to last week's issue was by the third quarter, beginning of the third quarter, really, the entire team had given up by that point. It wasn't that they had started to give up by the third quarter. It's by the third quarter, the entire team had given up. It's like they knew going into that game they were going to lose, and they played like it, right? And that says there is culture problems, there's personnel problems, there's mental problems, there's a lack of carrying problems, which is all that stuff. But now I'm just repeating myself. Look, there's a lot of issues here. And defensive coordinator Vance Joseph saying that he's going to get turned around this week. I don't know how you do. I don't know how you get your team to go from completely giving up halfway through a game to going out there and playing lights out. Maybe whatever was said behind closed doors they're able to get a point across and they go out there today and do well. But look, the defense just cannot allow anything from the Bears to get going. Look, they are so desperate for something. And look, I haven't really seen any Broncos fans burning jerseys, right? But I've seen a lot of Bears fans burning jerseys. And they are really fed up with Justin Fields, sorry. And his lack of, what he does on the field. So he is looking for a game to prove that he is who he says he is, like that he deserves to be in the NFL. And this is a chance for him to go out there and do that. He has seen this defense. He knows this defense just allowed 70 points to be scored against him, albeit by the Dolphins. This is a chance. He's looking at this and saying, wow, I can maybe look, make myself look really good today, and get this team back on track. So the Broncos defense is really the key for this game, period, out the end. I think it's going to be a very slow scoring game. It's going to be a very defensive, ugly game. Probably a lot of penalties. I'm just guessing it's going to be a slugfest, guys. I don't expect a shootout. Maybe a lot of broken plays. Just both teams are very desperate. Both teams are not very good, especially on defense. We have the talent. We just, my biggest concern is we gave up, and when the players give up, it's not just that they're giving up on themselves. It's they're giving up on the entire team and entire fan base. And that was disappointing to see from those guys because we hadn't seen that kind of performance since Super Bowl 50, Let's see. How you doing, everyone? Glad you're in here. Board a Bronco fan in the Western Slope of Colorado. Can't wait. Oh, man, here you go. Watching them for the first time today, man. Hopefully they put on a good show for you. Glad you're here. Anthony, hopefully see a better game. Completely agree, man. This is exactly what we're hoping for. This is a get-right game for the Broncos, right? And they need to take advantage of that. Russell Wilson is probably one name that we haven't really been talking about much because he isn't the problem. I mean, I don't know if he's really the solution, but he hasn't been the problem. His biggest thing is getting, a full game of good performance together. He hasn't yet to do that this year. It's good for half the game or for 3/4 of the game, but there is a period in each game where he just kind of falls totally flat. It always seems to be where we need him the most, and it's not just him. It's receivers not catching the ball. It's, offensive line not protecting him. It's like the whole offense just totally stalls at the most, inopportune time. Like when we need him to get going the most and score some points for us, keep the defense off the field to get them rested, that's when they go 3 and out. And when does that happen? Usually right after halftime. Third quarter for this team, for some reason, is just, it kills them. It kills them every time. And so we had better see that is addressed this week as well, right? That's another big one. Anthony, look, Russ, if you are going to run the football, hold on to it, right? I don't think, did he fumble last week? I can't remember. No, I don't think he did. I know Cortland Sutton did twice. Cortland Sutton, man, dude, you're a number one receiver for a reason. You've got to hold on to that football. I think, and I'm trying to, really understand what those guys are going through. You tell me to go stand outside in the Miami sun playing, top notch elite contact football. It's 100+ degrees outside. The heat index is like 110 plus. It's like 80% humidity. It's gross. It's muggy. You're standing in the sun the whole time. It was miserable. I'm sure those guys were probably, the score as well, but it was absolutely miserable. And I know, living down there for almost 9 years, I didn't like it at all, the weather and everything. So, we're going back to a more temperate climate up in Chicago there. So it's actually, let's see what the weather's going to be today. And it shouldn't be an impact for the team, but Chicago, let's see, weather in Chicago today, 8 degrees, not bad. 56% humidity, not bad at all either. But it looks like it's going to be right around, in the low 80s for the game. So a much better, environment for this team than they were in last week. Also remember, Sean Payton, his record starts to get really good in October. And one thing I want to keep, have everyone keep in mind for expectations. If you look back through NFL history, especially in the last 30, 40 years, head coaches, when they take over a new team, the first year is usually pretty dismal. The second year, they're around, 8 or 9 wins. And it's really year 3 where they're getting that 10+ win seasons in consistently, right? For a head coach that lasts that long anyway. Usually by the end of year 3, if they're not winning, they're gone. So you're looking at year 3 and beyond when coaches stick around. They stick around and turn the teams around. And look, guys like Kyle Shanahan, you think like, man, we should have gotten him. He would have fixed this right away. Even his first year, it took some time for him to turn that team around. And look where the Rams are now, right? So teams are going to go through ups. Teams are going to go through downs. We've gone through a lot of downs. Obviously, I think, we can go back to the ownership situation was a big problem for the Broncos throughout that entire time. Really having no leadership to guide this team to get them back to where we wanted to go, right? But now that we have that ownership support, it's going to be interesting to see what this team does, following this year. So it's going to be interesting, guys. Hey, everyone, make sure you follow us on YouTube. That link is scrolling down below. Orange Weekly. You just search Bourbon, Broncos, and OBS on YouTube as well to find daily video content. We also got all of our other, all of our other shows streaming there as well. If you want to make sure that your comments do show up, I know we have Anthony up in here. We have George up in here. If I'm saying your name right, if you want to make sure that your comments do get through, go watch us on YouTube. 100% of the time, your comments will show up to us here. Half the time on Facebook, they don't always go through. So if you're commenting and you're like, why isn't he showing my comment? It's probably because they don't see it. Please go to YouTube and we'll make sure that we pull it up there. Anthony, leadership. Holy crap. There is a huge leadership black hole, if you want to, hole of leadership. There's no one stepping up. You're completely right. Who's going to be that guy? Who's going to be the guy that makes a big play at the right time, gets an interception, maybe a pick six? Oh, man, like maybe we get a pick six, right? It would just be enormous for this defense to step up today and do something like that, right? So I completely agree, Anthony. Somebody has to step up, but the question is, who's it going to be? I don't think it's going to be a guy like Russ. Russ is not that kind of guy. You would think Justin Simmons, Josie Jewell, the guys that are out today, yeah, those are the guys that you'd really usually look to step up. Cooper really hasn't been doing much for pass rush. Benito hasn't been doing much for pass rush. We have 4 sacks this year. 4. And that all came in one quarter against the Commanders, guys. That's where our pass rush is at. Not pretty. Hit that share button for me, guys. Let's get more Broncos fans up in here. I know we're not super excited about what the Broncos have done so far, but look, at least it's not the offseason. We could all be very upset, that it's the offseason. Okay, we got a few more things to cover. I'm going to start breaking down offense, defense, special teams, kind of what I expect from today's game, and then I'll also give you a score prediction, and then we'll go get ready to watch the game. Here we go, guys. Offense for the Broncos. Look, biggest thing today is consistency. We have the talent. We have, the capability. We have Sean Payton. I think, we definitely have the skills when it comes to the players and the coaches to outplay this team, okay? The Chicago Bears team. The trick is, are they going to go out there and execute a full game? Look, teams go. I'm not expecting you to get a touchdown on every single drive or a field goal on every drive. Move the ball. Don't go 3 and out. Don't find put your defense in the position where they keep going on the field. Okay. Play smart. Don't turn over the ball. It just comes down to that. Like, we're not expecting them to put up 60 freaking points today. I think again, a low scoring game with what our offense has been able to put up recently is all we need for a win today. So look, I'm looking for the Broncos to put up 24 points today. And I think that's within reason, right? Especially against this Bears team. So 20 for the Broncos. Look, the Bears, it really comes down to our defense, man. This game should not be close. The Broncos should be able to just go out there and handle the Bears offense with no problem. The question is, how are they rebounding from last week? You go back and you look at the players in the locker room following last week's game. I mean, just look of utter defeat. A look from players I haven't seen on this team before. Year in, year out, they always come back out ready to go. They always stay focused. They at least say, like, hey, we're going to try to keep going everything. Last week, I mean, people were mad. Players were frustrated. Garrett Bowles said, look, I've been here for 7 years. All I've done is lose, and I'm sick of losing, right? They're hurting, So how do you get back from that, over the course of a week? So it's going to be interesting to see what's going. Anthony, run game needs to get going. And our run game's been okay for the time for the first 3 games. It's not been stellar, but it's been good. Average, if not above average. But, look, we need maybe some big runs. Definitely looking for, these guys, Pookie to do his thing. Williams break some tackles, make some awesome moves. And I think if our offense can get going, we'll be okay. But it's the defense that concerns me, guys. If we allow Justin Fields to maybe get in a groove, say, oh, okay, I got this. I can beat this team, right? Allow him time in the pocket, allow him time to scramble. That's where things can get really ugly really quickly, because I'm afraid of this defense quitting again and saying, here we go again, and quit, right? They did it on us last week, and I'm sorry, they quit on the fan base too. I'm sorry. You don't quit on your fan base. And that was really disappointing more than anything last week is just to see how they quit on each other, on us. And so we're going to have to see what they do this week. Hey, Drake over on YouTube. How you doing? I feel like today could be the day that Mims solidifies himself as top 1 or 2 receivers on this team. So agreed. And I think on the depth chart, you're not going to see that. I think he'd be listed still as like the number 3 receiver behind Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. But you're right. You look at the numbers, like 6 or 7 of the biggest throws this year, receptions this year, have been from Marvin Mims. So for the Broncos anyway. So this guy is really good. It's how are we utilizing him? Are we utilizing him well? What's the workload going to look like for him today as we integrate him more and more into this team, right? We did sign the former Saints wide receiver. We're not going to see him today. I don't think we really signed him till like Thursday. So you're not going to see him out there at all. But we're going to see what he does next week as he starts getting integrated into the team as well, and how that impacts Mims and the other guys. So here we go, Sean. I love it. 1-3. Allison, how you doing? Denver Broncos for life. I love it. Defense. That's the thing. That's the key to today's game is Broncos defense. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to allow the Bears to go out there and look like they're a 3-0 team, 4-0 team? Are they going to go out there and say, yeah, this Bears team deserves to be 0-3. We've screwed up the first 3 weeks. We're the better team. We're going to go out there. We're going to do our job and put this Bears team away. So I love the enthusiasm, Allison. Awesome. Steve Jackson. So if Hamlin was healthy, why did we not bring him back? I don't know, man. It just maybe they didn't like how he fit with the team. Hey, we already have Mims who is kind of doing that role for what Hamlin provided. And so there's no need to have 2 of those guys on the team, and I think that's why they went to go get that ex-Saints wide receiver instead. They just have, a different set of skills that matches better for what the team needs. But I can tell you, just I wish I could be a fly on the wall or have some spy equipment in there to hear what those conversations sound like, right? But we'll just never know, unfortunately. So let's see, more than 2 safeties today, dude. I have to remind myself. So Justin Simmons is out for everyone again. Josie Jewell is out. Frank Clark is out. Mike Purcell is out. Perkins is out, defensive lineman, and Skinner is out as well. So lots of guys on defense out today. But it looks like our only safety that's out is Justin Simmons. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. Okay, time for some score predictions. Put your score predictions in the comments, guys. And remember that if you are correct and the Broncos win, you guess the Broncos winning, and the score is correct, you're going to win some awesome prizes from us here at Orange Weekly, some Orange Weekly swag, and some Broncos swag as well. Sean says Jewell is going to suck, but Jewell's not playing today. So, yeah. Well, Jewell's a good guy. He's a good player when he's out there. He's a good leader for the team and everything, but I like him. It just sucks that we're not going to have him today. So, Anthony, 23-20. Okay. I think, I do believe it's going to be a close game. Unfortunately, I don't think our defense is going to look too much better than they have. I just need, we need them to play a full game and make a couple plays, and I think this game is very winnable. See what else you guys say. Score predictions, put them in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's see. Sean, 31-24. Okay, 31 points for the Broncos. That'd be huge for our offense today. Steve, if Justin Fields has a field day, you know what'll hit the fan. Yeah. Let's wait to see how today's game goes before I go down that rabbit hole, because I don't even want to think about that right now. Don't even think about that. Drake, 28-19 Broncos. Okay. So here we go, guys. Keep your score predictions coming in, but I'll break down mine. Again, offense, I think, looks probably on par with what we've seen for the first 3 weeks, maybe a little bit better. And so I'm thinking 24 points for the Broncos offense. In terms of the Bears, look, our defense doesn't have to be amazing. They just have to play smart and not shoot themselves in the foot. So I do think the Bears are going to get some points, but it's going to be close. And I think the defense is actually the one that makes the final stop to win us the game. So, Broncos 24, Bears 17. Bears come down the field in the last drive of the game to win. Defense stops them, and we all feel at least a little bit better that finally we have a win, and we got a very beatable Jets team coming to Denver next week. So we will see. Keith, 24-10 Broncos. Anthony's saying play tough for the entire game. That's what we need to see. So don't forget, I'll be live at halftime as well, guys, for the halftime hash. Might have a surprise Bears fan in here to see what his take on the game is as well. So make sure you join us for the halftime hash, guys. Okay, I'm going to get ready for the game. We got 20 minutes to kick off. Steve, you got in just in time here. 13-10 Denver, very low-scoring game, okay? That'll be interesting to watch and see what these guys do, because if it's a low-scoring game, man, you're talking about a defensive battle, and I just hope our defense shows up today. Yeah, so we'll see, guys. We'll see. Okay, guys, with that, again, 20 minutes to kick off. Let's see what these guys can do. My name's Kev Dan. Once again, guys, from the Bourbon Broncos and OBS show, part of the Orange Weekly Broadcast Network, guys. Let's get out of here. Let's enjoy today's game. I'll see you guys at halftime. And as always, go Broncos.
What I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, if it's right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.